Hi again, it's Donna, your homegrown gourmet, part of the Gourmet or Good Enough team with my sister Diane. Today is all about the harvest. I'm going to use up some homegrown figs and make a fig chutney. As you know, Mother Nature doesn't take a day off, so I am hard pressed this time of year to get through all the produce that my husband grows. So I thought if I make a chutney, it'll be a nice condiment for the fall and maybe Thanksgiving. Let's get started. So a chutney is basically a cooked relish. You might think of a relish as maybe a salsa where the vegetables are a little crisp and have a nice bite to them. But a chutney is slow cooked. There's a lot of spice to it and a little bit of heat and then some acidity. So today I have a very large onion that I chopped up, and that's going in our pot. I have 3 cups of brown sugar. And my dried fruits, I have a cup of dried dates. I like dates, they're sweet. I have dried raisins, 1 cup of raisins. And then I also had some cranberries, dried cranberries, so we're going to add that as well. And it doesn't matter that they're dried because we're going to cook it for a long time so they'll plump up. I also have 2 pounds of figs. I'm going to chop those up loosely, but I wanted to show you what a fresh fig looks like. And this is a Kalamurna fig. It is a pale green in color, and then the inside is this beautiful pink. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm going to chop up the figs and we're going to put them into our pot. And today what I did with my figs is I cut the stem off. I put them in a pot. I boiled some water, let them boil for 5 minutes, and that was to remove any residual mold spores that might have been on the outside. And then I went ahead and spread them on a cookie sheet and I put them in the oven to dry for 1 hour at 300, and then I turned the heat down to 200 and I cooked them for a couple more hours. And this is what I have, a nice dried sweet, naturally sweet fig. So we're going to chop up 2 pounds. I'm going to put it in my pot along with the other dried fruit. So there's 2 pounds of Kalamurna figs. In the pot it goes. Now, we need to add some spices. So we're going to do a teaspoon of ground mustard seed, 1 teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of cinnamon. You could use allspice if you wanted to. And you could change up the fruits if you felt like it. If you want to do apricot would be nice. Even apple. That would be okay. So now we have our cinnamon, we have our cumin, we have our ground mustard. We need a little bit of acidity. I'm going to put some lemon peel in here. And then we're going to add apple cider vinegar. I'm also going to put a little bit of ginger. And I don't use ginger that often, so I keep it in the freezer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel it a little bit, and I use the back of my spoon to peel off the skin. And then it's real easy to just chop up what I need. I'll put it back in the freezer and use it another time. So let's do about 1/2 inch of ginger. Ginger is a nice addition. It's got a little bit of heat to it. So we're going to try to chop that really fine. And put the ginger in. Whenever you can use fresh ginger, by all means do it. It has great flavor. So in with the ginger. Cutting board out of the way. Okay, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, I have 3 cups of apple cider vinegar, and that's going in. And then my special addition is I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of pomegranate molasses. Now, if you've never tried it, it's definitely something different. Pomegranate molasses is used in fattoush salad, and that's why I have it. Look at that, how rich that is. So we'll do 1 and 2. That's going to give it a beautiful color. Okay. Stir that all around. I'm going to put it on the heat, bring it up to a boil, and then I'm going to simmer it until it's nice and thick and all the flavors are incorporated. The chutney has been cooking for about a half an hour now, and we're going to let it go a little bit longer till it reduces to about half. So the chutney has cooked down to about half and more chunky than I like. So I'm going to use my immersion blender and blend a little bit of it. And still leave a lot of chunks, but I just want to blend a little bit. Okay, that's perfect. I'm going to let it go about 10 more minutes while I get my jars ready for canning. The jars are hot because I put them in the oven after they were sanitized, and I stored them in the oven at 175 so they would be nice and hot. So my chutney has cooked for about an hour and a half. It's nice and thick, and we're going to spoon it into our jars and then process it. And whenever I'm canning, I always refer to my Ball Blue Book. It gives a lot of valuable instruction. So it tells me to do chutney, 1/4 of an inch from the top, and then process it for 10 minutes. So that's what we're going to do. And whenever you're canning, you always start with sterilized equipment. Keep your rim as clean as possible. And I have lids that I've been keeping warm. You want to keep them warm so that the rubber ring around there is nice and pliable, and it creates a really good seal when you process. Finger tight with the ring. There you go. I'm going to finish this up, and then we're going to go ahead and process it for 10 minutes in the hot water bath. Okay, in it goes. Once it comes back to a boil, I'm going to time it for 10 minutes. It has been 10 minutes. We are going to remove our jars and lift it up. And then this way I can pull each jar out. You want to lift them straight out. Don't worry about the water that's sitting on top. That'll just evaporate. Don't worry about that. You don't want to tip them over. Lift them directly out of the water bath and set them down on some type of towel. Sometimes a change in temperature could adversely affect the jar and it could shatter, so that's why we don't want to put them on any other kind of surface. A nice soft surface is what you want to do. And then we're going to let this sit as is for 12 hours or overnight, and then we'll check the seals to see if everything is good. While my thick chutney jars are cooling, I thought I would sample some of the leftovers, and this will keep a couple weeks in the refrigerator. One of my favorite ways to try it is with some grilled bread and goat cheese. But this is a great condiment with any kind of grilled meats. It's especially good with pork and turkey. So hopefully I'll have some for Thanksgiving. But let's give this a try. This would be great on an appetizer tray. So there you have it. Something else to do with fresh figs. Thanks for watching. Check the description below because I'll have other links for recipes with figs. And don't forget to press that like button. Ciao. Mm-hmm. That's so good.